beautiful souls, it's your old lover Tia, and I want us to start out by giving ourselves a hug. Now, if you watched my latest video, you know that I have decided to dedicate some of this channel to talking about my healing journey in hopes that I inspire people who also are in need of healing or feel as though they've reached out for healing energy or whatever the case may be, to know that you can get yourself up out of this rut or up out of this deep depression or whatever the case may be. Tam is also here to help us out. But I started this because I'm an empath and I want to help as many people as I can, and a lot of people have been reaching out to me for healing. The thing is that a lot of people think that they are the only people who have reached out to me for healing, plus I have a part-time job, plus I have to take care of myself, plus I have a cat to take care of and other relationships to keep, to maintain, I should say, or to take care of as well. So I have become a little bit overwhelmed and realized that energetically this is somewhere where I'm comfortable, where I can help people by speaking to a camera, and instead of that one-on-one, sometimes I just don't have the time or the energy for that one-on-one healing. And you know, this actually leads to my next point. I'm just gonna dive in. I have been in therapy since I was 15 years old. I believe I was 15. My first therapist was amazing, especially for that time period in my life. And I'll never forget, she told me, like, the days that you don't feel like coming to therapy are the days that you need to come the most. And that was one of the truest things said. Like, yes, the days that I didn't feel like going were the days that I had the best therapy sessions. I will note that every therapist that I've had, and I've had 3, have been Black women. And I think that that's important because it seems like there's a consensus where a lot of people who have therapists, it seems like there's like a disconnect. So sometimes they'll have like a white man, but they'll be like a Black man, and it's just, I don't know. And do what works for you, you know, but I don't know. I can only go based on my healing. So I changed therapists when I moved to Atlanta. My relationship had gotten really bad, so I found another therapist, but she was a bit older, and I don't think that she was what I needed in my life at that time, but I did learn a lot from her. But that leads me to say this, is that if you have a therapist in your life, if you've had them in your life for a long time or just for a short amount of time, say, I think I gave her like 6 sessions, I think, maybe like 5 to 6 sessions, maybe 4 sessions. But if you have a therapist and you still feel like you are at the same place mentally that you were at when you first started therapist, and you've been in therapy for more than like 5 sessions, and you've poured your heart out and been vulnerable and you've done the work, and if it's not working for you, it is literally okay for you to leave that therapist. Like, if you have been in therapy for a while and still feel like you are in the same place, maybe you're not as sick as you think you are. Maybe you really are feeling these things. So I'm not trying to demote what you feel, but maybe the tools that you're getting or the person that you're getting these tools from are not for you, and that's what's perpetuating this thought that you are really just sick. So I just want to mention that, because I feel like I've heard a lot of people say, like, yeah, I've done therapy, and then they continue to vent about these things, and I'm like, but if you've done therapy, then you would have the tools, no, to handle these things. Not to say you'd have the utter strength all the time to do and use those tools, but you wouldn't feel as lost, because I feel as though my therapist that I have now was a saving grace to me. And I remember my mom literally, like, she didn't give me an ultimatum, but she was like, Atia, you need therapy. And that was coming from my mom. So it's very hard for me to tell my friends, like, hey, you need to find a therapist, because I think that, once again, that's a journey that you need to go on your own, and you will be more responsible with your therapy if it is a choice that you make on your own. But I have had situations where I have motivated people to go to therapy, and I can't motivate them to stay in therapy, but just to have tried it, I think is a really big deal, and you should give yourself a pat on the back. My therapist now, I literally want her to be my friend. Like, I wonder if she knows that. I saw a TikTok post about that. Like, can I heal already so I can just be friends with my therapist? Because that's how I feel. Like, she's so cool. She's so cool. But, like, she's so helpful. And I'm so grateful to have her as my therapist. Ow, Tam. Ow! She got excited and... Okay. I love my therapist, and I feel like weekly I have these tools, and she's so gentle with me, and she speaks to me the way that I need to be spoken to, and she makes me take deep breaths and drink water in the sessions. And I also think that it's important that I think that spiritually we align. So she's able to recommend certain things to me that she knows will help my spiritual journey, and she's definitely reconnected me to my spiritual journey. And that is something that I'd like to talk to y'all about as well eventually too, is how I got reconnected with spirit, because there was a while where I was actually very much so disconnected with my spirit, and that is when I was having intrusive suicidal thoughts. And I feel like once I got connected with spirit, I got connected with self. And I'm not talking about religiously, because I'm not religious, because that would drive you to drink. But no judgment, I guess. If it's something that's healthy for you and non-judgmental, then great. But it's just not for me. But that's a different story. So yeah, my point is that if you are seeing a therapist right now and you are in deep pain and you have been seeing that therapist for a while and you're not feeling like you're healed, this is your permission to leave. It is okay to leave, but to find a new therapist before you leave. Because I think that mental health is important, and I don't think that we always have the tools. And I think that sometimes, because I am a light, people come to me and express these things to me, and I don't have the tools or the capacity to be able to help people the way that I would love to be able to. But I try to stay true to myself. Otherwise, it will cause extra guilt. And I don't need extra guilt in my life. So I just try to remember, I didn't go to school for this. I don't have a PhD. So there are people out there, though, who do have the tools and who did go to school for this. And helping people mentally is their passion. And because I'm someone who is still working through my own mental health, I don't feel as though it's safe for me to be able to guide people through their mental health journey. I think that this is safe for me to be able to share my mental health journey with the world. So thank you for listening. I hope that this motivated you to join therapy. Oh, I will say one more thing, is that a major complaint that people have is finances. How do I afford therapy? I have a credit card. To be honest with you, I have a credit card, and I put it on my credit card, and I have 90-minute sessions once every 2 weeks. So that's what I feel like I need. There was a point in the beginning when I first met her where I was doing sessions with her weekly, and then we decided that maybe we should do bi-weekly now. But the 90 minutes has always helped me, because 60 minutes just never seemed like enough. So we usually use those first 30 minutes for like catch-up time, and then we have like intense therapy for that last hour. So if you are not financially able, I don't think that should stop you from investing in your mental health. I think that there are ways to get around it. There are programs that provide free therapy. If you Google whatever state you are in, you can look up free counseling and free therapy. Now, it may not be exactly what you desire at the moment. Like, you may not be able to find that spiritual connection that I found with mine, but who knows? Who knows? And this can also lead you to other resources, and you can meet other people who can help you find help, the help that you need. So that's definitely what I would recommend. Looking up free resources. If you have insurance, that's helpful. Put it on your credit card, and then if you have a guardian in your life who is able to help you financially, ask them, because there could be no you without a healthy mind. You are not you until you at least take the time to invest in that mind. Even if you don't feel healthy, to know that you are taking the time to make yourself feel healthy is already a step in the right direction of mental health, because with mental health issues, it will make you believe that you are not worthy of feeling good, and you are worthy of feeling good, and I am worthy of feeling good. So thank you for respecting my boundaries. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that this helps motivate you to focus on your mental health, to get some guidance, because my therapist has literally saved my life. Like, literally. And shout out to my mom for motivating me to get mental help. Seriously, ever since I was younger, she was the one that was like headstrong in making sure that I was in therapy to talk these issues out, so that I wasn't dealing with life negatively. So yeah, thank you, mommy, for taking care of my heart and my mind. I appreciate you, and thank you for teaching me how important mental health was. And I'd also like to give a shout out to my dad, because in the beginning of my mental health journey, when I found out that I had depression and anxiety, he thought that they were just labels at one point. And I get that, because he didn't want me to feel like I was damaged, and now that he's had new experiences in his life and new people come into his life, I have felt an immense amount of compassion from him when it comes to anxiety and depression and what I'm going through. I remember when I was having these intrusive thoughts back in September, he had sent me like a random gift in the mail from my friend's business, with some earrings and like a headband. And like little did he know that was like a spike in my, I think it's serotonin or melatonin. Serotonin. That's stuff that makes you feel good, right? Like it was a spike in my serotonin that helped me out, and I felt like I was able to express myself. I also remember one time I was literally laid out on the floor having like an anxiety attack, and I was on the phone with him, and he like talked me out of that anxiety attack. So it's just really nice to be able to watch people grow. And I wanted to share that because sometimes your parents might not always get it. But they will. They will. Just focus on you. Focus on yourself. Be vulnerable. Be transparent if you can, if you feel safe. And just know that you are safe with yourself at all times. I love you. Give yourself a hug. Namaste.